guest is from Jay Cote from Cote Entertainment and Lighting. I forgot to add that. And you just rebranded not too long ago.
I did, yeah.
How did that come about?
Rebranded because my son Brady just graduated college, and he's been kind of DJing with me for a long time, either carrying bags when he was younger, and just got to the point where, hey, what do you want to do in life? And I want to kind of follow in the footsteps a little bit. I said, you know what, let's take this from DJ Jay Entertainment and turn it into Cote Entertainment and Lighting.
Yeah. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about, this is Beyond the Lens. This is all about the wedding industry, small business industry. And today's podcast guest is my friend, Jason Cote. Jay Cote, I've 13 years, over 10 years, 13 years. We met at a Wednesday whereabouts, and I came in not knowing anybody. And I think it was your sister-in-law that told me about it. So I ended up going to the thing, met with Jay, and when you meet genuine people, there's something about the camaraderie that comes along with that. Being early in my career with doing photography, and Jay was doing DJing at the time, we just hit it off, and we've been friends ever since. So today's guest is from Jay Cote from Cote Entertainment and Lighting. I forgot to add that. And you just rebranded not too long ago.
I did, yeah.
How did that come about?
Rebranded because my son Brady just graduated college, and he's been kind of DJing with me for a long time, either carrying bags when he was younger, and just got to the point where, hey, what do you want to do in life? And I want to kind of follow in the footsteps a little bit. I said, you know what, let's take this from DJ Jay Entertainment and turn it into Cote Entertainment and Lighting. Yeah. Rebranded, obviously you created my first logo for DJ Jay.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Found it and loved it. And I figured with the logo here, I'm not sure if you can see it really well.
Yeah, I'll show it up on the screen.
But, adding myself and Brady, getting a digital artist to do it, say, hey, I want to have it, leaning on the family. And just really how it was created was perfect. I just, it says a lot about who myself and Brady are.
Yeah. It really does, as a family, it does, and the entertainment part of what you do. And you also added the lighting to that too. So we're going to talk later on your packages, what they come along with, because you do lighting with and without, and you do also a photo booth with and without. Those are things that are in your packages and things like that. So we'll talk about that later on. But where do you see, compared to, how long ago did you start? Not like necessarily, what was your first wedding? What year, do you remember?
First wedding was 2013 at the log cabin. And
really?
The log cabin, first one. Yeah, it was for a friend at the Hukilau. He said, hey, I know you wanted to kind of get into weddings.
Hukilau.
I know, for real. Somebody says it too. Hukilau, I missed that place, Yeah, it was for one of his friends, and I did it. It was my first one, so I said, hey, listen, let's do this together. Very affordable, of course. My first wedding, kind of getting going, and it was a blast. And for me, what I loved was that only just kind of doing clubs and stuff, and karaoke nights and trivia nights, to see the staff getting up and dancing, and getting some referrals from the staff saying, wow, that was great. We'd love to have you back. So I'm like, I think I have something here.
Good. That was my next question, is how did you even get into the wedding part? What were you doing before the weddings?
Weddings, I was just doing, I started off at the Hukilau. I was working with another DJ at the time, and then I kind of changed over to 7B's Bar and Grill in Westfield. Did some trivia nights, karaoke nights over there as well for a couple of years. And it really was kind of burning the candle at both ends a little bit with my day job. And I said, you know what, I need to be out less during the week and see if I can make more sense of it. And I really love the wedding scene. So kind of, how can I, really expand that portion of DJing, that kind of thing. So that's kind of how I thought about it, connected with Brian Nix, and met some other folks, of course, at Wednesday Whereabouts.
Wednesday Whereabouts,
And then kind of went from there. Did a lot of shadowing with Brian, did weddings with him. He actually attended my my very first wedding, actually. Actually, it was before that. It was for a family friend. But he attended that with me and kind of like walked me through it. So my very first solo wedding was the log cabin. So
awesome. And that was, what, over 13 years ago?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. And since then, have you, I can't even say how can you compare 2013 to 2026, because you really can't. It's completely, what we're feeling and seeing now in the industry is completely different than what it was then. So comparison-wise, where do you feel like you see the market in weddings from a DJ's point of view? Now, I have an idea of what the trends are right now and what the market is doing and saying, in my opinion, photography related wise. Where do you see the DJing industry for weddings right now?
I think things are definitely more simplified as far as the look goes. It used to be about big and bold and things everywhere, you know, big trusses and stuff like that. And that was a great DJ setup. I've never been into the trussing. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously, if folks want a huge production, you're going to do that. That's something I would absolutely, you know, make sure that I align them with the correct DJ company to do that for them that offers that. I like to keep it simple. I like to keep it, you know, clean setup. And just really a good experience is what I kind of go for. And
I agree with that. We were actually just together last weekend. That was a rager of a wedding,
that was fun.
And I do agree with you. I feel like there is something about simplicity that doesn't overshadow production and entertainment. And every couple is different. I find that some couples that want that, you know, high level, whatever they're looking for, not every DJ is going to be the same. There's different levels to experience in DJs, and there's different ways that they are entertaining you. So my first question to you is, what do you feel like is the best, what's the job of a DJ on a wedding day? What's like your primary job?
Overall, is just to make sure I'm kind of the quarterback for the day, you know, to be honest with you. Working with vendors, whether I get lucky enough to work with my friends, such as you, and a lot of times I'm working with total strangers. And, you know, by dinner time, the end of the night, we're all good friends, exchanging information. You know, we work together. I'm the one that presses play, so I am the one that has the microphone, and, you know, it makes sure that everybody's in the right place. The team is set, they're ready to go before anything happens, you know.
What do you feel like is... How does your prep work start? So when the bride first reaches out to you, what's the first steps that they can expect from you?
That's changed a lot too, I'll say that. With post-COVID, it's been a lot of less contact, that's for sure. And an extreme side, I've only connected with couples via text. I booked a couple weddings only via text.
Wow.
Whether their schedules are too crazy or they've seen enough on social media, good to go. Most times we're talking, we're FaceTiming. I haven't had a face-to-face meeting in probably 2 years.
That is...
And that's by choice, by the couple.
By their choice, by their choice. I have noticed the same thing. When I first got into the studio, my goal wasn't, all of my lights are in here from Cote Entertainment. My goal when I first got in here is to light this and present this because I wanted people to see quality, I wanted them to see experience, and I wanted them to see professionalism. So when they come walking through my door and they sit down on that couch, all of my work is around them. So it's up on the screen, it's up on the walls, the books are in front of them, and nobody's meeting in person anymore. Even since COVID, even up to this year, I can probably count on one hand how many people have actually met in person. And I do agree with you. I feel like it's a busyness of schedule more than anything else. Sometimes a bride is working a different shift than the groom. Police officer and nurse, they have opposite schedules. I'll see my boyfriend on the weekend. We could talk about it more. So I do understand and I do agree with that. I do miss meeting in person. There's something about meeting somebody in person that they get to see yourself, hear your voice, and they get to see your energy and things like that. So when they first reach out to you, and then you say, first thing obviously you're going to do is check the date and things like that. What's the next step that they can expect from you?
Just to do some homework. I say, what kind of, usually they'll reach out via my portal, either the website or Facebook. I have a pretty good size content library on Tictok, which I think has been great. Because without Tictok, Instagram basically, if you already know or don't know, they kind of block any kind of music. So I basically will mute my music, throw TikTok's tracks in there to match up. And that way you have a full picture of some sounds, some lights, some transitions. It gives you a little bit better presentation. And seeing that, because you can't just go to a wedding unless you're invited to somebody's wedding or go to a Jack and Jill, what have you. This gives you an opportunity to see beyond the lens of beyond the lens.
Got it.
What is actually taking place at a wedding that I'm doing for them. I'll sometimes use my small drone that I have to get some shots that you normally can't get to get a better viewpoint of what the room looks like and just to really encompass the whole night for them. And that really does help a lot, more than my Facebook or my website itself.
I agree with you. I feel like your social media has elevated in the past year and a half, 2 years.
Thanks.
That little bit of progression, that little bit more here, a little bit more there, a little bit more there. The habitual stuff that you do on your social media, it's enough for somebody to be able to really experience and see what your weddings are like. We're going to talk later on about, a horror story or your worst experience at a wedding and your best experience at a wedding. But what do you do when you you played all the right songs, you've done everything you could do in your thing, and there's just like not a dancing crowd? Is there something that you can pull out of your hat to try and to do?
Well, that never happens, no.
Good for you. Good
no,
for you.
it definitely happens. Every DJ out there
Must
has
experience
experienced
that,
something with a stale dance floor.
That's a good word.
Whether it be we'll bring up the log cabin again, you have a sunset. I don't care if it's the best DJ in the
is
world.
So true.
If the sun is setting over the mountain, nobody's inside. And I said, you know what? At that point, you just got to expect it.
Yeah.
And I've heard many DJs over the years just say, "Wow, it's full dance floor there. It's all empty," because that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what they pay for. They pay for that experience.
And you are right. And that's not a reflection of the DJ's experience. Yep. It is the sun that is going down. It's 15 minutes of that time. They eventually do come back in and get them back up on the dance. But you're right, it is one of those things that you got to be very aware of when it comes to that. And I've said this from all of the people that I recommend for DJ, all the people that I recommend for video, all the people I recommend for cakes and them, I recommend them because they're very good at what they do. And I've always told them, you want a DJ that can read the room. Yeah. Find that vibe, find that way to get them out onto the dance floor, whether it's coming into a certain song or not playing a certain song. We're going to talk about a play and no play list later on. Yeah. I'm sure you've run into a few of those things there. But I'm just kind of curious about what you end up having to do when it comes time to getting everybody onto the dance floor. Do you do like a group picture and then keep it on the dance floor? Or after the cake cutting is done, what's your favorite go-to song to start that dance floor opening up?
Back in the day, I was very structured in how I played things, and it was like, okay, we're going to start with these couple songs. So I would do old-time rock and roll.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I think that's a good place to start.
And as I progress, I kind of say, it doesn't always have to be a certain song.
Great point. But you've evolved with that.
I have, yes. Yeah. So old-time rock and roll, you get all the classics in, Run Around Sue to Michael Jackson. Usually those were like the top three, and to appease the entire crowd. Mm-hmm. And what I tell my brides and grooms too is that you're there to dance with your family and have a great time with your family. Some folks, we'll talk about no playlists and stuff later, but if you give the DJ, a professional DJ, enough control over the playlist, you're going to have a good time. Mm-hmm. I can pick and choose things that I need. I look at it this way. You have a whole wardrobe in your closet. What if I took all of the clothes and threw it on the floor? Now make me some outfits. So that's kind of what it is in my sense is, hey, listen, I've got all these songs of all different genres, different speeds, different tempos, different beats, different everything. How do I put that together to make a great night? Mm-hmm. Sometimes songs that always work don't always work. We're definitely trending away from the Cupid shuffles and things like that.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, for sure.
I've noticed that.
I think for me now, I don't play them unless I need to. Not that I don't want to play them, but I don't need to play them in order to get a dance floor going. Sometimes it works, and it happened late last year. Brady and I were doing a wedding together, and it was a little bit of a slow dance floor at first. I said, you know what, let me give it a shot, see if it goes. And you know what, it worked. Right away, people jumped in there, and he even looked at me, he was like, wow, I'm surprised. Because sometimes that does happen. You need that spark.
That's exactly what I was talking about. A DJ that's worth their salt, good DJ is going to say, all right, let's experiment with this. Not experiment because nothing else is working. It's like, let's just give this a shot. That's the difference between you and somebody else. You're going to do whatever you can to get your couple and your guests out onto the dance floor, whatever that is. So the next question I want to talk to you about is, how do you work with couples to create a playlist that truly reflects their personality and story?
I always want to know what they like. tell me what you listen to in the car. Tell me what you're singing your heart out to, that kind of thing. Tell me, what you're singing in the shower, or, whatever you guys are doing, and find out what they like. If it's something obviously danceable, it makes sense. If it's not danceable, hey, tell you what, let's throw some of these in the cocktail hour or in dinner hour, especially, because you're still listening to them and enjoying them.
Great point.
But it's either too slow to dance fast or too fast to dance slow.
Okay.
So it's that weird kind of tempo. It's kind of hard to dance to.
Good point.
So, and that usually works out well.
Good point.
Yeah.
Do you find that some wedding couples are very restrictive with what they want you to play or not play? Meaning, if a bride says, these are my favorite songs from this favorite artist, and all of a sudden you're getting rest, you're queuing them up and you're thinking you're getting ready because dinner just ended, you're getting ready to go there. All of a sudden the photographer says, hey, we're going to go outside for a little while, we'll be back in 10 minutes because we're going to do X. When I know I'm watching the sunset, I can't stop the sun. I can't stop the sun. So I need to go out at X time.
Absolutely.
The DJ just at that time says, okay, I'm going to put that stuff on the back burner. And then when they come back in, because the last thing you want to do is play what they wanted to play while they're outside. So is there any stories that you've had to come across and rechange what you had lined up in the queue?
Not too much.
Okay.
I don't do, I have, so when I set up, and a lot of DJs have crates set up with different genres. So if I want some 70s, 80s, 90s, hip hop, house music, all the different kind of things, there are already in my buckets. I don't really too much jump ahead more than like 2 or 3 songs.
Oh, okay. Because
I know that in a set, I'm going to play this, I'm going to blend it into something like this. And then from there, I'm going to go with something here, keep it up tempo. But I have to slow it down eventually.
Yeah.
We don't want people passing out on the dance floor.
Right.
That's no fun either.
Right.
So it's just lining up a few songs, getting me to the next slow song. Slow songs, maybe 3 a night.
See,
that kind of thing.
And I've noticed that last weekend, there was just enough in there every once in a while to just kind of slow the pace down a little bit. There was just as many older couples as there was younger couples on Saturday night we were there, Friday night. It was a good mix of a lot of different things. And the mix that you had, I actually walked by, I heard one of the mixes that you were doing. I actually walked from the other side of the room. It's like, that was a really good mix. And you can tell that when one song mixes into another song at the right time and the right beats per minute and it sounds good, it's like, that was a cool transition. And I noticed it. And I noticed it. I've noticed that a lot more with you also. So either you're getting better at the blending and better at the transition because you're doing it more often. So kudos to you for evolving with stuff like that. I hear things. I hear bad transitions a lot more than I hear good transitions. And it depends on who I'm working with that night. I've worked with a lot of inexperienced DJs. Have you ever worked with a lot of inexperienced photographers? No names mentioned.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So give me one story where one of the vendors kind of your worst, one of your stories about a bad vendor situation.
When it came to taking pictures of the rings. Maybe because I've worked with you a bunch, he's like, I don't know where to go with this. I'm like, well, how about you put a golf ball on it, or put it on a golf ball, or go out to the course, or go to the green, or even put it on a tee. He's like, wow, that's a really good idea. I never thought of that.
You gave them the advice?
Yeah. But again, I'm so used to seeing that with you.
Correct.
Getting your extra flash and kind of getting lined up, or your spritz of smoke, all the cool things that Ron Lemlin gets to do. I'm so used to that. I'm accustomed that's how it's supposed to be done, with you and the other professionals in this area.
Yeah.
This person was a professional, just didn't do a lot of weddings.
Right.
But I'm like, if it was me, I'm like, that would look really cool.
Yeah.
And the shot came out really great.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't take the shot for them.
Right. No. But the fact that you worked with somebody that was inexperienced in that way in weddings, you gave good advice when it came to an idea. I remember the wedding that we did up the mansion at Bald Hill. That wedding was another great wedding that night. Dance floor was packed all night long. Older couples, younger couples. It was just busy the whole night long.
Dance floor and the chairs were packed.
Yes. And it was a really good night. We ended up going outside for the champagne.
That was great.
Brady was there also, so you ended up coming outside with your meta glasses and did stuff like that. You get to experience a lot of vendor interactions, whether it's our favorite cupcake person.
Absolutely.
and seeing people like that, and whether it's at the venue and stuff like that. How do you approach, do you know ahead of time who your vendors are going to be on your wedding day? Or do you just show up and say, oh my God, I forgot it was so-and-so?
To be honest with you, I sometimes don't look.
Do you?
Not intentionally.
Yeah, I look intentionally because I want to tag them ahead of time.
Oh, of course. It's at the beginning of the wedding planner, and when I'm doing 2 weddings or 3 weddings sometimes in a weekend.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'm like, oh, great, I'm working with Ron.
Yeah.
A lot of times you and I connect anyways.
Yeah.
But there's so many photographers that I've never worked with out there. It's like I've never heard of this person, or it's a family friend from Worcester or whatever it is. But more often than not, it's when I do know, I'm like, okay, cool, I know I'm going to have this kind of night.
Yeah.
And I have worked with folks that maybe they might be new or the family friend, and it's great because I can help guide them through the wedding.
Yeah.
Hey,
Great
listen,
point.
I'm going to put you with this. We're going to be doing. Hey, I'm going to get set up for this. We're going to do this. This is where they're going to stand. I normally, and it's a big thing for photographers, is when the sweetheart table, when they're taking doing the speeches, where they want to have them stand. And a lot of times I'll say what I'm going to do, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, thanks so much." I've never had a DJ actually tell them that. I said, "But you want to get a good shot, and I want to have them sound good as well." So
And again, that's where experience comes in.
Right.
That's where experience comes in. All right. I think I already answered this. What is your approach to keeping the dance floor full throughout the night? Just reading the dance floor, finding out which, getting people out there.
Yep.
Is there a go-to first song of the night to open the dance floor that you're in right now that you feel like is it works every time so far?
Like I said, I used to do that with old time rock and roll. I haven't played that in a while, actually. I mean, I could probably get back to some Bob Seger, but it really depends.
Yeah.
I'm a really big fan.
I don't
of
remember
September.
what you. Yeah, I feel like everybody is, and some
love
people
that song.
hate that to no end. They're like, I hate that. It doesn't bother me. You and I hear it every weekend.
Yeah.
You and I hear it every weekend. These other people, it's like they're so sick of hearing it, but the people that you're playing the song for, they love that. They're hearing it once or twice a year.
Yeah.
You and I hear it every weekend. So for us, it might be a little bit old.
Yeah.
I don't mind the song.
Yeah.
Some people hate it to death and they can't stand it. Telling DJs not even to play it. People
I've only had somebody tell me not to play once. I'm like, oh.
Has anybody ever told you to not play something?
Yeah,
Really?
September, yeah. But what I do now with it too is they have the movie, the Trolls movie with Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick. They have their own version. It's a little bit faster. So I'll start the first part of the original, and then after the first verse, I have it queued up, and it just transitions right into the Justin Timberlake Anna Kendrick version, which is kind of a new upbeat kind of version of it. So I'll kind of do that and make it new. I don't like just pressing play and letting it go. I'm gonna press play. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna queue up the next song. I may use what's called stems. So basically with Serato, the DJ program, you can eliminate the vocals, the rhythm, the bass, the drums, and you can take out each one of those pieces
On the fly?
on the fly, and then put it like you can make a karaoke version, essentially just remove the vocals.
Oh, okay.
But then I can also play the backbeat of something else with this song.
Okay.
And I've done that several times. And for me, that's the most fun because you're not going to hear this on the radio.
Great point.
So it's going to be something new and fresh and fun, and then you might go, "Oh wow," So that's kind of where it is.
But it's all about getting one song to run into the next song, to run into the next song, to run into, so there's no stops and then starts. That keeps people consistently on the dance floor. And again, this is where experience comes in. I cannot emphasize this enough. When I tell people, it's like, if you want somebody that really knows how to keep people on the dance floor, you gotta hire the right person, because if your dance floor is a flop, it's that's what people are going to remember. Oh my God, the food was amazing, but nobody danced. Well, why didn't they dance? Was it a bad DJ? Was it just a rough crowd, or anything else like that?
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest mistakes couples make when choosing music for their wedding? So a couple comes to you and with their own idea and what they want, you're like, ooh, that's a really bad idea. Like if they were gonna only play, Footloose and all the trendy, electric slides and stuff, like, which are not in anymore. I feel like, I agree with you. I feel like those have started to transition out quite a bit.
I'd say it was this one wedding I did, and it was probably my second year of doing weddings, and it was in a barn. I don't even remember where it was. It was like a 3-floor barn. Later in the night, it was interesting because I had to put like drapes and stuff over the top of things because there was a tornado warning. So on top of the tornado warning, I'll tell you the story too, but there was like water leaking everywhere. So that wasn't a fun experience. And back then I was actually still renting equipment. So I didn't have my own certain speakers and things I was renting from. But that specific wedding, they had a detailed playlist for cocktail, for dinner, and for the actual reception itself. And no other songs were to be played. I happened to pop in a Michael Bublé song, maybe the second or third song for the cocktail hour. Now this is when they're outside getting pictures. The couple actually walked back in and said, "Can you please change the song?" So I played every song on their list. A lot of them I had never heard of, those groups. The dance floor was very stale for the most part, maybe like 8 or 10 people. And I was itching to play something because I know I could get them up there and going. But to honor the request, you got to make sure, I'm playing exactly what they want. And they were very specific how they wanted it. And that's not how any wedding is, to be honest with you. That was very, very like a rare. Oh my gosh, very rare occasion.
Yeah.
Where I had zero creativity to add into it or any professionalism at that point. So for me, it was I did the best I could with that. I said like that, the clothes thrown on the floor. I could do the best I could with all that, and I did a good job. We had a decent dance floor, but it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, there's always that, and I agree with you. At the end of the night, it's like, oh, I could have done something different if I had the leeway to do that, or I wish I would have done this afterwards. It's like I remembered a song that would have been great at that time, and you forgot what it was. Same thing with photographers. It's like, oh my God, I should have did this, or oh my God, I should have done that, or I missed this, or I missed that. Last weekend's wedding, I went to, we went and did the table dash.
Yes.
Which
was fun.
Fun. Very tight in that venue. It's very tight in there, and I told him, do not run. I know it's a dash. Don't run. Yeah. Just walk to get to where you got to go. Oh. When the DJ gives the announcement and says, okay, everybody, on this side of the table, go to that side of the table, it sets everybody up to go right over there and we got it done in one song.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was perfect. It worked out perfect. That's when the dance floor opened up after that. There's always that transition of, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. And everybody runs into that no matter which vendor that you are. There's always like, oh, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. Is there anything off the top of your head that you can think of that you can sit back and say, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that?
There's been song requests usually that the couples might have had, and they weren't high on their list, but I'm like, oh, this is really not going to work. It's one of those things, and I try to accommodate as best I can, and maybe I might have to leave a couple out that may not, it's not going to hit, or it's more like, say, for cocktail hour, or we'll try it, we'll get into that, and I'll be like, yeah, we're going to kind of sneak away from that, out of, transition out.
Yeah. So when your dance floor is going good, and somebody comes up and requests a song that's completely different beat, different genre, different tone, good fun, like throwing, like you've got all these bangers going in there, and all of a sudden somebody wants to hear, the twist.
Yeah.
It doesn't go. You ever come across something like that and you feel like
all the time? More often
guilty about it?
I try to get it. If it makes sense, I can do it. And like I said, I don't plan ahead on the live dance floor aspect more than a couple songs. Yeah. And if somebody comes up with one, I've had it happen way too many times.
I bet.
Where on a good side, where there's like 30 seconds left, and I say, hey, okay, all right, what's your song? What's your request? Oh, that's happening now. I'll put that in now.
Really?
Oh my gosh, that'll hit perfectly, and I'll get it in there. I'll get it queued up really quickly, get it set, and even blend it right in there, and make it happen. Sometimes I'll have it where I'm playing a slow song. Hey, can you play this slow song? And it's like half an hour left. I'm like, unfortunately, we're not going to end in what's my wedding song, what have you. And I want to make sure I get everybody happy and accommodate them. Or if I just jumped out of country, I'm not going to really go back to country for a bit. So hey, tell you what, great song.
Good point.
Give me like 20 minutes. Yeah. That way I can get it in the right groove. I want to have everybody enjoy it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So time and place, really.
All right. Let's hit the play and do not play list. Have you experienced one where these couples are very adamant about do not play X along whatever songs like that?
There's been a lot of T Swift haters lately. I don't know why. It's either I love Taylor Swift, play some Taylor Swift, or don't you dare play Taylor Swift.
There's a love-hate relationship.
Which is really weird.
There's a love-hate relationship with the whole thing. For whatever reason, if there's that list where do not play and somebody comes up and says, can you play? How do you approach that person, that guest that comes up and says, can you play this when it's on the do not play list?
Good question. I'll have my list printed in front of me.
Oh, do you?
Oh yeah, it's
sorry.
My whole
play
plan.
It.
I don't want them to be like, hey, listen, you need to leave them alone. My biggest thing I want them to not do is go over to the bride and groom and tap them on the shoulder while they're dancing. And hey, your DJ is horrible. He won't play my song. That's what I don't want them to do. So what I do.
That's an understandable fear.
And it happens. If they're dancing, have a good time talking to the relatives, I don't want to have them be bothered by that. And then
Great point.
And then they feel like they have to say, okay, you can play it. It's okay. And sometimes that happens. But more often than not, I'm going to grab the list and say, hey, listen, these are the songs they'd love to hear. I guarantee you're going to find, oh my God, I want to hear that one. Let's play that one. Okay, cool, great. It makes them happy. They don't bother the couple. They heard a song they want to hear. And then if it's on their no playlist for something, we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of curious. I've heard stories about play and no play lists, and a lot of things that are on the no playlists right now are electric slide, all those other trendy, dance slide, cha-cha slides and things like that. A lot of those are on lists right now where that people are just tired of hearing them. Either they've been to weddings and they're tired of hearing them. 16-year-old comes up and says, "Can you play this?" How do you, and they mean well. They're like 16 years old. I want to go out there and do that. And she means well. How do you approach something like that, even though the bride said no? How do you, do you say at that time, can I play something different because I'm not supposed to play that? How do you approach that? A 16-year-old comes up and says, play cha-cha slide, but you can't. What do you do?
If they're asking for that, and specifically no dances like that, I'll try to see if I can accommodate something else. Hey, tell you what, we're not doing coordinated dances tonight. They really don't want to hear that kind of stuff tonight, but what else do you like besides that? Tell me something else you like so I can make that happen for you.
That way you're not turning her away with a no. There's just an understanding like, sorry, I can't do that. What else can I play for you? So she's not going to go away like, oh my God, the DJ won't play my song.
However, if it's Mother of the Bride, something like that, I'm like, okay, well, tell you what, they don't want it.
That's a great point.
But I don't mind if you bother your daughter.
And
ask her. I'll go ahead and play for mom. That's fine.
And I really feel like there's a little bit of leeway with what parents can get away with. They're part of the wedding day. I know the bride is there. I know the groom is there. And I understand the situation. But there is an element of the parents of the bride and parents of the groom that you want to make sure they like you too. Because technically, they might have paid for you.
Very true. Very true.
And the last thing you want to do is, you're not going to play my song, and I'm the one that wrote you the check. And see, this envelope's going back in my pocket now. And that's that thing that you run into when it comes to that. I had one mother of the bride that was going through my book, and she brought it to her daughter. She goes, not really my style, but I'll show her to her anyways. The bride loved it. The bride loved the style, hired me.
Good.
And then the day of the wedding, the mother of the bride says, hey, can you make sure you don't take a picture of her tattoo that's on her shoulder? And she got it when she was rebellious, 16 years old, she did it. So the mom had a very bad experience with that.
Gotcha.
Well, guess what? The bride had a strapless dress on. And guess what side of her face she favored? The side with the tattoo.
Of course.
You understand tattoos. You put them there for a reason.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I went to the bride, I went to the mom, I was like, that's her side. I cannot not photograph her on that side. The tattoo's going to be in there. Well, can you remove it? I was like, nope. That's part of who she is. If I start removing something off of a bride, the bride's going to be like, what'd you do that for? And then, so you can't please everybody, I guess. I guess that's what we're going with. And I didn't get in trouble for it, but I definitely had a little bit of, the evil eye when it came to that. And the mom paid too. So there's nothing, I was at Cape Cod too. So it was a very high-end wedding. There's nothing I could do about it. I felt bad, but that's, unfortunately, the bride, that's her side. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? All right, next question. What are some creative or unique moments couples can incorporate with music during their wedding day?
We had one Friday. So instead of a garter toss, we threw a pack of Pokemon cards, which was pretty cool. I've seen things.
That's the first time I've seen that. I was a little worried about the box hitting the corner of somebody's eye.
I was like, how's this going to work? Somebody's going to get impaled.
And the guy with the kilt almost got it.
Yes, he did. I'm surprised he didn't move everybody out of the way. He was a big boy.
He was a big boy.
Other cool things I've seen too, and you were with me with this one, the morning wedding in the Cape area-ish, where it was really after COVID. They got married the prior year in a private ceremony, and instead of the ring, they put on a ring pop.
Yep.
So some kind of cool stuff.
How about music-wise? How can people kind of incorporate music into whether it's a special song? Everybody kind of comes out to their first dance for their first dance, usually with their favorite song and or a popular song that is hitting right now. What else can a wedding couple do musically related wise on their wedding? Other than first dance, I'm going to take that out of the equation.
Yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of folks are using TV and movies lately. So, like the Bridgerton series, there's a lot of really great, more current songs, more like almost like Baroque or like not Baroque, but Baroque music.
Yep.
More traditional sounding,
Okay.
but it's more contemporary and it sounds great. So they're incorporating a lot more of that into it. They're finding a lot of things on YouTube sometimes where they can finally only find this one version on YouTube.
Okay.
So I'm able to kind of like download it and play it for them.
How about a cake cutting song? Do you feel like people are starting to play different songs instead of?
Yeah.
I cannot remember the last time. How about you? The bride cuts the cake. The bride cuts. When's the last time you've heard that?
My wedding.
Okay, we just dated ourselves right there.
1999.
But nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
They're coming up with different songs and things like that. And that's another way to kind of incorporate something musically to them. It could have been her. She was it punk rock? What was her favorite kind of?
Like 90s indie rock.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was good.
So that's the kind of music that she likes. So there's a way to incorporate a fun song like that with your cake cutting, or there's a fun song you can do with your first dance. I'm noticing a lot of really unique father-daughter dances lately.
Yes.
And I'm loving that.
Yeah.
I'm loving the fact that I don't mind if you just stand there, you be you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get 3, 4, 5 pictures of that.
Yeah.
But when they start to move a little bit and use the dance floor a little bit, then they spin once or twice. I would encourage anybody, father, daughter, mother, son, to be a little bit more of that, spinning around once or twice, just to kind of like everybody gets to see what's happening instead of just standing still. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm not saying I'm against being still,
right? Because
not everybody is rhythmically, challenged or anything like that, and I get that. But doing something along the lines, musically wise, a fun dance or anything else like that. Yeah. Were you with me at the one that threw the batons?
Yes.
You remember that one?
Yep.
The father and the bride.
That was Ed. He actually attended a wedding on Saturday with me. He was my first boss when I first started working.
And throwing the batons in the air and catching
back in the day, and his daughter Meg. So
that was a good wedding.
That was a really great wedding, and Ed did a great job. So
good. That's funny. All right. What equipment and backup plans do you bring to ensure everything runs flawlessly from a DJ's point of view?
I bought enough stuff lately that I bought a trailer last year. And this old man with this old back definitely needed that for sure. So currently I have, my main setup for weddings. I also have a main setup for a wireless setup, a 12-inch speaker set for either outdoor, or there's a certain venue that I work at in Connecticut that's more outdoors. I need more of a push, and it's also kind of in the middle of nowhere. So having multiple setups, having a ceremony setup, which is separate from that. Subwoofer, no subwoofer, plenty of cords. I'm trying to get into more battery-powered stuff, so I have
one laptop, 2 laptops.
2 laptops always. I'll use my main laptop setup that's connected to the lights and the main system. I'll bring the other one outside for the ceremony, what have you.
Oh, that makes sense.
God forbid it hits the fan, then we got a backup ready to go. They're always mirrored and updated every single wedding, so everything is
duplicated almost.
If one just died completely, I'd have all their playlists and everything ready to roll in the second one. So.
That's the difference with hiring a professional.
Yeah.
I cannot emphasize this enough with these people that just decide they want to get somebody to just throw some speakers together and do everything through a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong though. When I first started, and even up until probably about right before COVID, I was using my main setup, ceremony setup, at my laptop. But now, hey, you do more weddings, you see more things, you think about what could go wrong. Even when I tell Brady too, I said, hey, he's done 30 weddings with me last year. We have another 30 this year, and he's got 2 of his own this year.
Yeah.
Getting him through all those, I want him to see it's going amazing, but what if something goes a little bit wrong? Most things that go wrong are things that we notice, and you as a photographer, you notice, but nobody else has a clue. Not at all. It could be a little glitch with a wireless microphone, with planes flying overhead, 150 cell phones at the ceremony site. So different things can happen that we know, but nobody else really catches on. And not to have that panic moment, but how to navigate through and troubleshoot. And that's really the best thing is to how do I get through it? You know what I'm saying? And that's, for me, that's a lot of growth too.
So going back to Brady being part of the equation now, he's going to be doing weddings on his own now.
Yes, he will.
So when those wedding couples come up, is it something that the bride can request Brady or request you, or is it which one of you are available?
I'm sure eventually it'll be like, hey, we want to pick out Brady, which makes me feel good.
Is Brady available?
But
Jay's
it's also,
like, let me check. And that's not a bad feeling.
It'd be a hard no. Sorry, he's not a. No, I'm kidding. No, but
that would be a good feeling to have something like that where you have somebody requesting that.
But the cool thing I like about with me and Brady, it's probably growing up obviously in our household, is we're always listening to music. We are always listening to something, jamming out to either yacht rock or classic rock or fun stuff, anything. Brittany's always about her Taylor Swift or upbeat stuff. So what I've listened to over the years and what I like to play and what he's seen works, he's really kind of incorporated into his own sets. Granted,
that's nice.
He has a lot of other different stuff that I'm looking at him and I'm like, wow, and he does the same thing. When I have a moment where I'm doing something cool, a transition, something really like I'm really hitting it with, I feel really comfortable with Spanish music. So for instance, I will really kill that groove and you just really get in there. And he's looking like, wow, I didn't realize you knew that. Just to really, to surprise him. And when I can surprise him, when I can surprise vendors that see this every weekend, 2-3 times a weekend, and they're like, wow, that was really great. That makes me feel good. Because you see a lot of content from a lot of different styles of DJs. And to hear that compliment makes the difference to me.
Yeah, I noticed it on Saturday night. Those transitions that was happening, I was like, wow, I haven't heard you. I've heard you mix before, but the one that I came specifically over to you and said something, it was like, I haven't heard that from you in this is our first time this year. We were together last year. So since last year, I haven't heard that mix from you since then. So it was really cool to hear that transition.
Love it.
All right, what trends are you seeing right now in the wedding and music and receptions from a DJ's point of view? Trends.
I'm kind of loving it. I'm loving the group walk-in, which is kind of nice. It gives you more time to do...
As opposed to the 2x2x2?
Correct, yeah. So the last 2 years especially, more folks are doing all the bridesmaids, all the groomsmen will rapid fire their first names. That way we're not, talking too much in the microphone. You hear more of the song, more energy. It's 6 or half dozen, as far as that goes. Hey, if we're having 2x2, it's great because I'm going to find and queue up ahead of time the key parts of the song that you want to hear. You want to hear that big hit. And then we're transitioning out last weekend on Saturday. The wedding you didn't do with me, you were not in Hartford with me, it was 1 by 1. So we had 12 couples with 12 different songs. 12 individuals.
12 people, yeah.
So and they said, how much time we have? I said, you got about 10 seconds. He goes, 10? Really? I'm like, yes, 10 seconds.
There's 12 of you.
There's 12 of you, yeah. So queued it up, got it all rolling, and it wasn't really a long
And they're all different songs, right?
All different songs, absolutely.
Wow.
And then, so that kind of worked out well as well. And with that kind of stuff, I also do things a little bit differently. So I'll have a boom mic, kind of like a podcast mic, so I can go hands-free. And I'll have my planner on my second laptop as I'm looking at the names, make sure I got it right and checking off on my list. If there's 2 Jameses or 2 Mollys, I don't want to say the wrong one. So I'm like, keeping
Good point. Good point.
And then being able to transition to the next song, get it all set up, get ready for this, take a breath, announce the next person, get them in here, change it up, change the next song, go to this, go to that. So it's a lot of like hand moving, at that point. But, practice the transitions. Be prepared, you know what you're doing. Don't rush.
Yeah. Like last Friday, there was Lexi and Lexi. There was 2 Lexis last weekend.
Yes.
So I called them Lexi 1 and Lexi 2 because I didn't need to know what their last names were because I just needed to know the first names. For you, the intros, that made a difference.
Yeah.
And they came in 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through.
And I more often, the last few years or so, it said, there's a lot to go on the microphone. People are coming in. They're not listening to me anyways. Yes, they know who they are coming in. So I said, hey, for your family, the parents and all that stuff, put the first and last names on there. For all your friends and everybody coming in the wedding party, give me the first names. That's all I need. It's just too many things. I'm just trying to rapid fire on the mic. You want to hear the music coming in. You want to enjoy this, that kind of thing.
Great point.
And they know who they are.
Yeah, and they're all cheering anyways, and a lot of people are really just not, they're just hearing who's coming in next, not, what was her name again? They're not saying, what's her name, Bobby, or they don't care about that stuff.
For real.
And it's just a formality.
Yeah.
It really is just a formality, the introduction.
Yeah. And it also eliminates any kind of potential name errors. I'm very critical with names. Going back to my wedding, my DJ was fantastic. Loved him. He was great. Referred from a friend, but the names was not enough preparation. I was given the wedding planner in our bridal suite, and Kim's getting bustled at the time. I don't have the greatest handwriting, honestly, and I'm filling out this and that, and a couple names were said wrong. Whether my handwriting or preparation, what have you. But I also have folks, if we are doing that, phonetically spell it. So I can take a 6-syllable last name, and they're like, "How did you say that?" I'm like, "Because I wrote it like this."
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
So preparation and learning little tips like that.
That's experience.
Yeah.
That's experience. All right. Can you share a memorable wedding moment where music really transformed the atmosphere of a night? It could be a first dance. It could any story you can think of that comes to mind.
I can say there's been a bunch, which is good.
Good.
And I love that. Last couple of years, especially Mr. Brightside has been a huge song for a lot of folks, whether it be the last song of the night or really to hit that last, like that power, call it like the power half an hour or last half an hour. And that seems to work. With that song, Mr. Brightside, I'm able to remove, just keep the vocals and the drums, right? With that, you're not hearing all the extra background. People can sing their hearts out. Whenever I do that, whether it be some Taylor Swift songs or Bon Jovi, whatever, that's when they know, oh, they dropped the music and now I can sing. And that brings the energy up. And following it up with a great song after that. Some Blink-182, all the small things, so like that people know. And it's just finding that right groove. It's not the same songs every time. It might be some ABBA, some Dancing Queen. It might be some Usher, some 90s hip hop, stuff like that. So it's just.
It is amazing how Dancing Queen is such a popular wedding song.
Yeah.
That just out of nowhere. It's like that song is like everybody sings it. That song. Journey's "Don't Stop Believing" is another top like singable song.
Yeah.
Give me two more.
Well, Journey's "Don't Stop Believing," but I play a techno version by George Lamond. He's actually, I think he's Korean, I think it is. And it's just more of a bumping kind of tune.
Really?
And and I'll play that. I don't remember the last time I played Journey's version.
Really?
It's been a while, yeah. Oh gosh.
Anything else off the top of your head, like Dancing Queen, Journey? What's another like popular?
So I have a set that I play. I have it marked in my queue as like DJ Jay's set list. And I'll play through this 90s set. And it starts with, a CNC Music Factory, Everybody Dance Now.
Yeah.
And it goes into Rob Bass, It Takes Two.
Oh, that's I love that one.
And I played this one several times because I just like how it feels.
Yeah.
Some Montel Jordan, there's some It's Tricky, Run DMC.
Yeah.
Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison. So those kind of songs. It's actually kind of funny I said that. So Belle Biv DeVoe, Poison at my brother-in-law's wedding at the log cabin. I had requested from the DJ, this is way before I started DJing, hey, can you play that song? I love that song. I know the people that were there would jam to that. He played it, the dance floor flooded. I'm like, I just did that. That was pretty cool. And I'm like, at that moment, I'm like, that would be really kind of cool to do that I did that. So that was a moment where like the little light went off.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until years later, maybe 8 years later, that it actually was able to, come to fruition to be a DJ. So
I feel like you really got to know music to be a good DJ.
Yeah.
And you have to know all kinds of music also, because not every song can go together with another song.
Yeah.
I feel like, from what I'm talking to all my DJ friends, is there's a formula that comes along with it. It's like beats per minute kind of thing like that. Certain beats per minute that you can't be too fast, too slow, because it changes the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. All over the place.
There's like a formula that comes along with that. And to know music, that's how you're going to be really good DJs. You really got to know your music. And if somebody's just going to grab a playlist, it just doesn't come off the same.
Yeah,
so
not everything I like is going to be danceable. I listen to plenty
Great point.
One of my favorite bands is Led Zeppelin. Although we did play some Zeppelin the other night during the
I did notice that.
Dash, yeah.
Yep.
But it's one of those things where they wanted Greta Van Fleet.
Okay.
Eric Van Fleet. And Zeppelin is very much where that is in that genre. So I'm like, we'll finish off the Dash with some Zeppelin. It was perfect.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. All right. For couples currently planning their wedding, what advice would you give them when booking a DJ? What advice would you give somebody about booking a DJ?
My first question is, what are you looking for an entertainer? Tell me the style you're looking for. And a lot of couples really, they don't know per se, like, hey, I want the dance floor packed. I want to have a good time. That's the easiest thing. And honestly, great, perfect. Because that's what I want too,
Yeah. What DJ does, right?
As a DJ, when you're playing music and people aren't dancing, or you just can't find that groove.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh boy, this is really like, what am I doing? Like, I must be doing something. I should just retire at this point, But you find that groove, you're like, oh, it's great again, But I think with planning, it's just, like I said, finding what they're looking for. What's your interest? What's most important to you? And I'm sure you asked that question as well. a DJ can make or break a wedding.
100%.
You know, and folks won't know about the photography until the couples get the photos. You know, but at that moment in time, I have one shot.
Yeah.
And so do you, obviously.
Yep.
But like, if I, can't put together a good solid set, we don't want to end like this, and that's even planning too. Hey, how long is your wedding for? Oh, we're gonna do like an extra 2 hours. My family's gonna love it. If I have 4 hours of dancing, that's way too much. You want your wedding to end like this and then be done. You don't want to end it where like everybody's gone home and there's like 3 people left and
that's happened.
And it happens, if it's too long, that kind of thing. So Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday mornings, it all depends on, whether it's a dry wedding, open bar.
Great point.
All those things make a difference. Not that I need people to get all liquored up with the wedding.
Right.
But it helps people loosen up sometimes,
There is a lot of variables that come along with where you are, what time of the day and or night or morning when it comes to that. There's so many variables that come into play when it comes to a wedding that most people don't think about.
Yeah.
They think it's just going to be, hey, we're going to go till 12 o'clock. Yeah. And you started at, 3. That's a long, and that DJ's got to be able to play, enough songs in between and put some slow ones in there to get people, not to have a heart attack. Yeah. But there's a lot of variables in it when it comes inside of that.
And who you invite too. If you have a playlist set for friends and like younger crowds and you have 90% family. Yeah. It's probably not going to work as best as you think. We'll get it in there, but then again, who knows? Maybe grandma might love the 90s and we'll hit it,
Side note, do you find like a lot of wedding couples play a lot of explicit songs and there's a lot of older couples in the crowd? You're smiling. And how do you, it's like they're requesting this and they're just dropping F-bombs, they're doing all this stuff like that, which is part of the songs that they're playing, and you're like looking at the older couples on the side over there. Do you suggest or have them play that later on in the night when there's either less people or they're gone by then, or at that point?
Yeah.
How do you approach that?
Not often. I've actually have a couple. I think it's for next year. Can you play the explicit versions of these certain songs? Yeah, sure. That's fine. Tell me why.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, I want to hear the original version. Okay, well, absolutely, it's fine. When in the night would you like this? Yeah. After my grandparents go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. There are plenty of songs. I can cut them out. That's not a problem. Yeah. Big example, middle school dances.
Good point.
I don't care if it's the lyrics or not, it's the content.
Good point.
Some songs you can cut out this and that, but it's the content of the song where that you don't want to have them listen to it. Hey, tell you what, how about something else? Yeah. How about the Cha-Cha Slide?
That's where you play those songs like
middle school.
Keep them in the middle schools.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into social media? I want to talk about where they can find you and things like that, but I want to talk about how do you approach your social media and doing that. But anything else we want to talk about, wedding industry related wise, DJ related wise, 2026 wise, trend wise, anything else you want to talk about and address? Anything about Cote Entertainment and Lighting?
Yeah, I mean, the business in general, I've been very blessed, to work with a bunch of professionals that in this area, which I had no idea what I was doing back in the day, getting started doing just learning to DJ. Yeah. And I think learning how to get people to dance was the biggest step, how to make that happen. And then having my son, who is now a very good DJ, also learned that. Yeah. And he knows how to get people to dance. Yeah. Whether it be the music he loves to listen to or I love to listen to, he knows what's right for that floor. Yeah. Whether we like the songs or not, if we know if it works, it's gonna work. And to be able to pivot and move. So for me to see him, Cote Entertainment's really, really changed, and I can't wait to see what the next step of that is down the road. Yeah. Right now we're enjoying life and continue to expand and go from one wedding a day to maybe 2 and then kind of go from there. But right now it's really about just, enjoying what's here. Yeah. For me as a dad and an owner of this company, it's just, it's a feel-good moment when I get to, work with Brady. We work at the same bank, different branches. At the moment, he still lives at home. And then we do a lot of weddings together, spend a lot of quality time. So that's something that you don't always get to do. And
you are very lucky and very fortunate.
I cherish it. It's a big thing for me, and I stop and think sometimes. This past weekend when I didn't have him for any weddings, I was like, man, I missed Brady. I missed him. carrying all the bags. No, I'm kidding.
What did I say? Is it just you, or is Brady coming too?
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to seeing him with you.
And I love
doing that. And I love seeing the two of you guys there together.
Yeah, it means a lot.
There is that whole, like, he brings me water now because you didn't. I will say that. You're welcome, Brady, when you watch this. He never let that go. Every time he sees me now, he reminds me about how you didn't bring me that water.
We have a very similar humor, too, and that's exactly what I would have done to him, too. For real.
All right.
Darn water.
Anything else you want to talk about? Because I want to get to some rapid fire questions.
Let's go, man.
All right, rapid fire questions. First dance song you never get tired of hearing.
First dance song. It changes so much. They change so much.
It can be one that opens up the dance floor, or it could be
first dance.
Or it could be just a first dance. It does your favorite song to open up the dance floor and or first dance.
I love September. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorites. Maybe seeing him in concert at Tanglewood did it too, to see him live. But I'm a big fan of that song.
All right, one song that will instantly fill the dance floor.
Fill the dance floor. Oh my gosh, Mr. Brightside. That's a good one. That's definitely one. Absolutely. Yeah, by Usher. A lot of Usher songs will definitely get them out there. Jump Around is a big one.
That's another one.
I usually play those in conjunction together.
How about Ending the Night?
Cascada, Every Time We Touch.
I don't think I've heard that one.
You've definitely.
I'm sure I've heard it.
We'll play
I don't know songs by names. I know songs by beats and sounds. I was like, oh, I like that song. I couldn't even tell you what the name of it is.
It's one they're just jumping around and fist bumping and having a good time.
Okay.
It's high energy. And one thing I'll tell you real quickly is that when I do want to have on my set list a do play and a do not play and a last song of the night.
Yep.
If that last song of the night is something that's just not going to end, like, guess what? More often than not, it's the second to last song. Mm-hmm. Because when I play the last song, what do you normally hear?
Yep. One more song! Which happened last Friday.
Exactly. And before I finish it, it's already queued up.
It's already queued up. You told me that.
There.
You already told me that.
It's already there. So it's like, make them happy. And it's a little trick of the trade. If you have a hard stop at 10 o'clock or a venue says, no, you're done at 10 or 11, we're unplugging you if that is the case. The last song of the night is 10 minutes before, and the encore is 5 minutes before. Guess what? They're all happy.
Yeah.
So
100%.
That was my secret.
100%. A song you wish couples would request more often.
I don't know. I mean, Elvis is some pretty good stuff. Mm-hmm. I play some of the classics. Obviously, we're dealing with folks that are born in 2000 now, 1998, 97, and that's 30 years before that. So some of the classics to bring back. I try to bring some of those back to when the early part of the night too.
All right, classic wedding song that will never go out of style.
Shout.
I agree.
I don't play the original by the Isley Brothers. I play a different version.
Your personal guilty pleasure dance floor song. Like, it wasn't on the playlist or wasn't on anybody's list, but I'm going to put it in there anyways and mix it in someplace.
I'm going to point to my tattoo, but Johnny Be Good.
Johnny Be Good, that's a good one.
But it's the version from Back to the Future.
Has to be.
I don't play it all the time, but when I do, it's that version.
It has to be. It has to be. Biggest wedding dance floor surprise you've ever seen. Dance floor surprise.
Oh, gosh.
It could be wands, it could be bubbles, whatever the thing that surprised you the most.
So I can't remember the song. If I think really hard, I'd think of it. It was at Forest Park in the inside the Garden House. I forget what it's called over there.
Look Park?
Forest Park.
Forest Park.
Yeah, the mansion kind of thing.
Oh, Barney Estates.
Barney Estates, yes. Small wedding. It was a song I would never usually play. I forget. It was kind of a fun song. I'm like, whatever. It was a family song apparently. They all got on the dance floor, sat on the dance floor in a line. So like one sat in front of like a toboggan, and they were just like swaying and doing this. I'm like, I don't know what is going on right now. But it was a family-specific song.
Wow.
They goofed around and did students thing. I was like, I'm not sure what's happening right now, but it
Side
worked.
note, I got two more.
Yeah.
Have you run into any weddings that were either Polish weddings that played a lot of polka songs?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you do run into that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've done some Jack and Jills like that.
Yeah. Not very often.
Get a couple good ones lined up.
Yeah.
I have to look at my list of what I played more often. Some of the names escape me, but I love a good polka.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah, gotta
Who doesn't? And that gets them on the dance floor.
Yeah.
That gets them on the dance floor. Portuguese weddings are like that too. They have a very similar polka style family dance routine. I don't want to call it a routine, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Where they go around with couples and they like polka dancing kind of thing. They
yeah.
do their thing. They do their thing. All right. If your couple says play whatever you want, what's the first song you drop? I think we've mentioned this like 3 times already.
Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, Reading the Room, what we got for ages out there.
Great point.
It'll be even like, you could do Old Time Rock and Roll. You could do September. It all depends. If you want, and I've even started dance or weddings with a slow song. Like Saturday started slow because there was a second, like a balcony. A lot of people upstairs.
Yep.
So I threw a 4.5 minute song in to get folks down. We packed the dance floor right away. That was to get them there, and then I had to keep them there after that. So not often do I start slow, but that one I decided to because of the specifics of the room.
Got it. One word to describe the perfect dance floor. One word to describe the perfect dance floor.
The perfect dance floor. One word. Let's see here. I would say diverse.
Okay. What's one song that will clear a dance floor faster than an alarm? And you know music, so just think of something like you pull a, if I threw this out there like Baby Shark or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I'd say In Summer by
I love that song. I'll never forget that wedding when you pulled that song out.
Oh, that was for you. That was for you.
I know.
But honestly, I try not. But man, you never know. Sometimes something weird happens, and it's like, well, that didn't work. You just transition out of it. So
that is it. Anything else you can think of that you want to talk about? Because I want to talk about your social media, your TikTok, your Instagram, your all of your social media, the way that it's been showing all of your work and all of your stuff and things like that. I feel like that is a very important part to have as any vendor. As any vendor. But for a DJ, you can really, other than music because they block that, you can show people how many people are having a good time on the dance floor by what you're showing. And you're taking video clips all the way through, you're taking things during the day and things like that, and then creating your reel at the end of the night kind of thing like that. And like last week, you're like, hey, here's what you missed. And when you did that, I was like, man, that's a really good idea. And it's really cool that you do that because it really does let people see, can't hear because of the music copyright thing, but they get to see the jumping, the dancing, and the dance floor. And do you find that is hard to keep up with, or is it a little bit getting easier now to keep up with the social media?
I think it's easier. Also, having Brady with me at more weddings gives me more time.
Great point.
If I'm taking clips like you're doing. You're taking a million photos. I'm not taking as many because I got a DJ, but if I notice something, it looks really good, the dance floor looks packed, there's a certain amount of energy, I want to get that. If I can use the drone, go up 8 feet, get a different angle in there, and see what people can not normally see. Showing the uplights. Union Station, I have a really great one. It's pinned on my TikTok, where I was able to fly it from the back end of the room forward, and you see the whole like wrap around of the room, and the lights were hitting, and Brady was DJing. And for me, I was like, wow, okay. For me, I was impressed. So just showing off things that you don't normally see. What can I offer to you guys? What's the energy level? What do I want to expect from my wedding?
And I feel like that is a good way for a bride and groom to say, wow, that's what I want to experience at that venue. That's a great option. Fast forward, older couples get to see what you do also, and that might not be for them. I had one couple call me up and talk to them on the phone, really liked my personality. And I called her a couple of days later, and I asked her if she was still interested. And she goes, Ron, to be totally honest with you, love your work, but you have way too much energy for us. She said, we're an older couple, this is our second wedding, and we're looking for somebody a little bit more laid back and just gonna kind of be a fly on the wall. She goes, we're not looking for you have way too much energy for us. I said, well, you know what? Thank you for letting me know that, because if I'm not the right fit for someone, I want to know that. I want to know that. All right. So anything else about the social media or anything else you want to talk about?
Like I said, TikTok is the biggest bang for your buck right now as far as what to see and to encapsulate a whole wedding. Facebook, I'm always putting posts on there with some more content with me speaking or talking. I'm gonna focus a little bit more with Facebook. But a lot of the trend is folks are going to TikTok for a lot of things. It happens to pop up.
I'm hearing that also. I'm
and
hearing
it pops
that also.
up automatically.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't even know what the algorithm is or what it is. If you're looking for weddings, you find something in that area.
Yeah.
I don't pay for advertising. I do have my website that links TikTok, Instagram, Facebook all together. It has a messaging service together, so you can connect with me directly, whether it be through Messenger or phone, or text me, whatever you want to do. So it's all kind of incorporated.
All right. So where can they find you, and on your social Facebook? Where can they find you there?
Facebook is Cote Entertainment and Lighting.
And Lighting, okay.
Yep, and then you'll see this logo right here.
Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen.
Absolutely.
What about your Instagram?
Instagram is at Cote Entertainment and Lighting.
Okay.
And same thing with TikTok as well. Yeah.
All right. So all that information is going to be above or below us over here. Your links are going to be in the description when it comes to that. I'll put your logo up there. Anything else you want to talk about wedding-wise, trend-wise, and or DJ-wise?
I'd say if you can do it, book the photo kiosk.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the let's talk about the kiosk.
So the kiosk is great. It's it's 5'5". It's got an iPad Pro inside. It's got a light that works with it, and I use templates that are pre-created or created from Canva. Our bride we had this past Friday, she created on Canva because she loved doing it. So the frames that were there were the ones she created.
That's awesome.
I upload it. She gets the style she wants. A lot of couples are just kind of go over, hey, what's the color pattern, this and that. But if you're doing a barn wedding, I can do barn backgrounds. I can do digital props.
Yeah.
I can do background removal. So if there's this wall behind me and you don't want that, you can have whatever you want. You want gold shimmer. You want the beach, Disney castle, whatever you want to do. It can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's getting hit probably 100 to 175 times a night. And those photos and images and videos and GIFs are sent to the bride and groom via zip files. They have them for the whole night.
Really?
Which is great. And every time you text yourself that photo, it goes right to your phone. You can save it immediately, you can upload it to any of your
so that guest can go in there, take that picture, gets text to you, now it's in your phone, and the wedding couple gets a copy of whatever pictures are taken and sent to them also?
Yep, so they don't have to, the bride and groom don't have to put their numbers in or do anything like that. They get the whole file for everybody and see some of the photos from their family, what have you. So I always encourage folks to try out during cocktail hour, during the reception, what have you, and just really have a good time. And it's something that's definitely an affordable feature that adds, along with photography, you're gonna get those shots that you're probably not going to take, silly shots and photos that adds even more personality to the night. And as the night goes on, the photos usually get pretty fun.
Funnier.
Yeah, for sure.
Funnier. And you're right, and I feel like it's a nice added feature to have connected to the business that's already there. So Cote Entertainment and Lighting has that, and the photo booth now is a photo kiosk. Is an add-on.
It is
and the lighting is an add-on. Okay. But all of your information is on your website as far as it's like that. So if anybody's interested in looking at your services, they can go to, is it Cote Entertainment and Lighting.com? Okay, perfect. And I'll put that in the description and the links down below. All right. Anything else?
That's all I got, my friend.
All right. All right. All right, everyone. Wow, that was another action-packed podcast. There's so much information that every DJ you talk to, every venue that you talk to, there's always got a different vibe to something else, and you've got a different point of view. So I love interviewing other people that are in the wedding industry because you get to work together, but you also get their vibe of and their idea from either the same wedding or anything else like that. So it's always a pleasure. Like I said, 13 years I've known Jay, and we do a lot of weddings together. But there's also, we do other things on the side. We still hang out all together all the time. So it's just fun to have people that you know and connect with. And I always tell people, when your vendors know each other, there's a little bit of a camaraderie. Like when Jay knows it's me and I know it's Jay, then I know Jay knows I'm not going anywhere outside without letting him know first, and vice versa. Or songs coming up, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. There should always be a camaraderie between all of your vendors. And the best thing you could do is look for vendors that work together, if that's an option. So Cote Entertainment and Lighting, all of his information is going to be down below. The website's going to be there. The social media is going to be there. Go and look and see what he's talking about as far as the clips and things like that. And also go and see the other part that he has on there, where you get to go see his website and his work that's on there. And give him a follow. It doesn't hurt to follow somebody and see what's coming up in the future. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Peace.